Okay, so good morning. We are live here on Women's Inspire Network with Andrea Dalton, and I'm going to show your name so we can see who is who. So welcome to anyone who's joining us and for anyone who's watching back later. Andrea is a member of Women's Inspire Network, and we're just going to have a wee chat about Andrea, why she joined the network, what it is she does, how we can help her and how she can help us. So Andrea, hi.
Hi, Harry. Thanks for having me on today.
No problem. So let's just start with talking about the why you joined Women's Inspire Network.
Why? Well, the big why was initially Samantha Kelly. Seen her on Dragon's Den, liked her very much, and I was tried to use Twitter a number of years ago, and Samantha was very kind to give me a little boost on how to do it. And then I just kind of followed her on and off and seen the Women's Inspire Network, and then it went private and I decided this is for me, and I'm so glad I have, because it's very supportive, and it's women wanting to help women, which is huge.
Definitely. So so you've been in it a few months now, and kind of apart from Samantha, what has been the other real draw to it? Because Samantha draws us all in. So
yeah, initially, it's just support and the posts and the tips that come up, and to be honest, I have to utilize it a lot better, because I've been looking at it rather than utilizing it, and it is a great support network out to the masses of people, and that's what I really like. And there are people that can help you and you can help them, and it's the support at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing. It really is. Sharon, good morning to you. Okay, so let's get talking about your business, because I'm fascinated with it. Andrea, do you want to tell them what your business is and where you're based?
Okay, so my business is, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I have the franchise here in Rathfarnham for Irish Hypnosis. I'm currently in the middle of my mastery level. That's halfway done. That could take up to another year to do that, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it because I'm helping people, and that's ultimately what I want to do. I fell into it. Just a little bit about me. 11 years ago, one of my children were born, and I almost died 3 weeks after having the child. And that made me reassess my life. A friend came up to work on me in the hospital, who was an energy therapist who had just started the course himself, literally one weekend in. He said, can I come up to Tala Hospital and help you breathe better? And he worked on me because I literally couldn't breathe. I had clots in both lungs, and basically left my old house in an ambulance thinking I was having a massive heart attack.
Wow.
And I'm 2 years in recovery, more mentally than physically. It took me a year physically to get back to normal, but mentally it did a lot of damage because you're facing your mortality. So that got me into energy work, put the seed in my head for energy work, and he kept on saying, do this course, going to change your life, blah, blah, blah. 5 years later, I got another set of clots. And I was in the Beacon Hospital. I drove myself up. My leg was one of my legs was this wide.
Wow.
I was in trouble, and I had the phone number for the people of the course on my phone for 5 years. And I'm sitting in the hospital bed in the Beacon, and I said, you have to change your life. This is your second warning. So then I became a bioenergy therapist, which is a natural healer, working with your aura and your chakras. And really love that, because I'm helping people on various different levels, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And then about 4 years ago, I did a very intensive course with Tom Griffin, who brought bioenergy into, one of the men who brought bioenergy into Ireland about 40 years ago now. And he's developed a course from an Australian model called the Cameron Dawson program. But he's developed it further himself. So I did that, and that was all on the subconscious mind, how the subconscious mind can bring around corrections in your body through 5 different modalities. And I really loved it, but I wasn't working in it much. And something just kept on saying to me, hypnosis, hypnosis, hypnosis. And I did not realize at the time hypnosis completely involves the subconscious mind, completely, totally and utterly. And it gets the job done very quickly, 4 or 5 sessions, and there's a huge transformation in a person, on mentally, physically, spiritually and emotionally, if the need is there for all levels.
Wow. Okay, really quickly, just so everyone knows what we do see your messages. So good morning to Helena, to Michelle, to Dolores. You got lots of people here. Hi, Sharon. Sharon says it sounds amazing, energy work. And Sam's here. Hi, Sam. And Sharon Creedon, who just had a baby recently, is here. Hi, Sharon. Thanks everyone for coming. Gorgeous little baby. So that sounds amazing. And Eilish, hi. That sounds really, really interesting. And the bit you said there about the bioenergy and working with, say the word chakras.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's really it's always kind of interesting me. So I'm going to ask you weird questions about it. So when you look at people, do you see like an aura around them, or is there how does that work?
Sometimes. So you connect in with a person, you kind of dip into their aura, which there's 7 colors, 7 main chakras, and I work little smaller minor chakras in your hands. So I feel things, I sense things. Sometimes I might sense it in my own body, what's ailing you. And as mad as it sounds, sometimes you might get words in your head and they make no sense to me whatsoever. But I just say it to the person and it might trigger something in them immediately or after the session. I was working on somebody once and I said, there's a bunch of grapes, something to do with a bunch of grapes. And she was like, oh my God, that's my granny trying to tell me. It was relevant to her, but to me, it would only meant wine.
Brilliant.
Sometimes you can see colours or you can feel things. I have to do it on the person, work on the person to get those senses. Looking at you now, I can't.
Yeah, no, because I was just wondering, if you're at, because it's all, magical to me. So I'm, thinking, if you're walking down the street, you see someone, with blue around them, someone with purple, someone with pink. I was like, how amazing would that be?
I'm just sitting there, and it's particularly around children, and they're playing or they're dancing, I'll just be looking at them, and the colour would be as clear as day on them. But that would be few and far between, other than when I'm working on a person. And it's sometimes it's not even that you can see it, it's you sense the colour within you.
Right.
And each colour, so each chakra represents a different part of your body, a different area in your life, and a different ailment.
Look at this one. I can never read Jacinta either. Ha ha ha, Sam. Nobody can. I'm with my fellow for 10 years and he still can't get me.
Yeah.
So that would be a job. Me and Andrew are going to talk later, and we're going to talk about working out these rainbows because I'm interested. So so that's cool. So you did all of that, and
and I still do.
You still do that as well as hypnotherapy. Sharon said my new book is about an Andrea in fiction. I kind of met her up, but here you are. There you go. You guys were connected.
That's great.
And Melody says, sounds very exciting. I'm intrigued. So you went on from that to do more in hypnotherapy.
I did. So my second course then led me to hypnotherapy. Just something kept on calling me. And there are a couple of courses, one down in Cork, and it was very psychological, if you like. And I knew it wasn't for me. And then I found this fantastic group and lecturer up in City West. And I went it was a weekend introductory course, Saturday and Sunday. And within an hour, I had signed up because it was all of my therapies rolled into one.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And it made so much sense. And I said, this is the piece of the jigsaw I am missing and I want to do. And I am doing. So I was delighted I gave up that weekend.
So you do the kind of things you look at are depression and anxiety, helping people with that.
Yeah, it's depression, anxiety, IBS, nail biting for children. Exam stress has been huge at the moment. Performance anxiety, insomnia, fear of flying for holidays, claustrophobia. anything really. Confidence within a person, because it kind of all goes back to the childhood. You can't be saying that thing. You can't be heard. You can be seen but not heard. And old Ireland as such was very much like that. I'd get a lot of people in their 50s who would have a serious lack of confidence, and it's going back to school. Unfortunately, back to teachers.
So, what kind of things then do you do with people to help them? Is it just like 1 or 2 sessions? What do you do?
So I have a few different tools. The biggest tool I would have, and I'm not sure if we've frozen.
No, we're good, I think.
Yeah. The biggest tool I would have, the greatest tool would be regression. And within regression, I do something called anger release and forgiveness.
Okay.
And it frees up the mind of all the clutter and even stuff that you might have had a row with your neighbour 20 years ago and thought you buried it, and you're being nice and polite and saying hello every day, but you buried it deep down, and it's taken up physical as well as headspace. And it's the headspace I'm aiming to free up and just give you a new sense of freedom within yourself.
Okay.
So that's usually what that is, definitely in regression. And then depending on what you come for, again, going back to regression, we do something called the hard drive of life. So I'll just do a little drawing here. I don't know if you can see this. So this is you. This little dot is you.
Yeah.
This little dot there is you when you're born.
Okay.
So your first breath. And then this outer circle is you when you're age 7.
Just move it a little bit.
And then I'm 48. I'm 48, for example. So this is me out here at 48. So if I was coming, or somebody was coming to me for fear of flying, for example, and they've had an attack out here at 48, they've had, they just literally don't want to even book the flights, never mind get on a plane, because they're thinking about it and they're getting all worked up about it. So at 48, they know they've to take a flight. They last took a flight at 30, maybe around 20, they took a flight. And somewhere in between here, from the time they're born out to the age of 7, something happened to them.
Okay.
So you're repeating the pattern the whole time, all the way out to the day you die over your fear of flights. And usually with fear of flights, what I personally have found is it's somebody's been locked in a press and forgotten about. So maybe they're playing hide and seek at the age of 3. And they've locked themselves in the hot press, thinking it's the best hidey place they'll find. And they might have fallen asleep in the hot press, or their friends have forgotten about them and gone and played out the back, and they can't open the door.
Jeez.
And they're panicking. So you're conditioned from the age of 0 up to 7 to always go back, all the way out to the rest of your life, all the way back to the age of 3. And it's the same with fear of spiders. The spider might have been crawling across your face when you're asleep in bed and you've woken up and you're in shock and you have a fear. You can't even look at a spider in your room. You're screaming, you're standing up in a chair or a mouse or whatever it may be. It's the same with IBS. Okay. They might have spoiled themselves between 0 and the age of 7.
Okay.
And their body, with stress as well, is reacting that way the whole time, because that's how it knows how to react.
Wow. How interesting is that?
Yeah, I should have really explained the model of the mind. So we have 3 minds within our wonderful heads.
Yeah.
First is the unconscious mind, and that deals with your breathing. Stuff we can't control, your breathing, all the chemicals going around with our glands, if we're hot or cold, if we're hungry or thirsty, all of that stuff. And then we have our conscious mind, where this is you and me having a chat. We're making decisions about each other. We're analysing what way the conversation's going to go. Basically, we're judging each other. Do I like her? Do they know their stuff? What's going to happen here? Your judgment is like your protector. So after the age of 7, around the age of 7, your judgment comes in. You come into your own. You used to be able to testify from the age of 7 in America, I think, in films. And it also involves your short-term memory and your willpower. So if you start a diet, you're all brilliant, you're gung-ho, this is magic, it's going to work, and you're great maybe for 6, 7, 8 weeks, but then you lapse back into your old habits. and your willpower doesn't last very long. In your subconscious mind, which is what I deal with, you have habits, beliefs, feelings, emotions, associations. So you're associating with your willpower on that diet. Well, what did I do as a kid? When I'm sad, I'll eat that bar of chocolate, or that bit of ice cream is going to make me feel better. So you keep on going back to before the age of 7. What comforted you? What feelings? What are you feeling when you're reaching that bar of chocolate? Have you had a bad day? Or even, are you going to congratulate yourself with a bar of chocolate for having a fantastic day? So you're going back to before the age of 7. And your subconscious mind is actually very lazy. So it's defaulted to do the easiest thing. And that combined with willpower is not great. Your subconscious mind can also be quite negative. And it can go into a negative spiral, a negative loop, because it's easier to do that than pull yourself out and think positively again. And it also involves your long-term memory. So literally from your first breath, even before your first breath, because I do past life regression as well. When you're in the utero, you remember, you can hear your mum talking, you can taste things through her, you can sense things through her, what's going on in the environment. You're completely linked to another human being in the physical form. But when you're born, from your first breath to your last breath, your subconscious mind has taken in everything. It's open 24/7. It never closes. When you're asleep, it can hear everything. It's just phenomenal. And my job is to get into that subconscious mind, putting you into a very deep, relaxed trance. And I reprogram it, reframe the negative things that have happened, whether they're, that bar of chocolate, you can reach for something, piece of fruit or a glass of water. You're locked in that cupboard. You got found. You're safe. And it's the whole safety thing that is huge for adults going back to their childhood.
Yeah.
You frame things and you reprogram it to be positive.
That's sounds really amazing, and the guys are agreeing here. Ailish said that she agreed with the teacher issue. Yeah, I completely agree with that too. Sharon says she needs to talk to you. Yay. Laura says it sounds great. Sam was saying it's all about getting rid of resentment, is what Sam said.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be. And resentment towards yourself, with forgiveness for self, for stuff that's out for control, is huge, because sometimes we can forgive other people very easy, but we forget about ourselves, and we are the most important.
Cool. Michelle says that's very interesting, and I agree. It sounds amazing. So have you ever had someone you just couldn't hypnotize?
Okay, you can hypnotize everybody.
Okay.
They have to want to give up control. They have to want to. We do something as counting backwards from 1,000 and forgetting about the numbers. You count backwards, you say 1,000, and the next breath you go deeper, relaxed. And you're saying this in your head, and I'm talking to you in the background like a radio, trying to get you relaxed. If that person's particularly controlling, maybe they're a little bit uneasy, it can be more difficult to get them into that deep trance. I'll send them away. It's happened to me once or twice. I've sent them away with a positivity MP3 for them to listen to for 21 days to put them into a new habit, and they'll come back to me. The good news, the brilliant news is there has been a very brand new technique developed. Well, it's over a year being tested and in the works, and I will have that next month. And it's something called CAM, K-A-M, Carl Anthony Method. And it's a different type of hypnosis. Yeah. And it gets you into hypnosis much quicker. And it's for those people who, for whatever reason, they just can't give up that control. So I'll have that under my belt next month. And that's,
so for all the difficult
exciting. It is. It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Ailish asked, is hypnotherapy suitable for any age?
From about the age of 10. It depends on the child's imagination. Hypnosis really works on a person's imagination, because I lead you down into a beautiful countryside, and I'll be talking about the countryside, and I get you to imagine certain things. So before somebody comes to me, I will do a consultation, and I'll decide if I want to work with them and how much they want the change in their life, because I have to make sure nobody is being forced into a change. Like how naive I was 15 years ago. I rang up for my then husband to quit smoking, and the hypnotherapist said, "Oh yeah, I'll take him in." You don't do that, because the person doesn't want the change.
Yeah.
I had two things: quit smoking and something else. And now I know you just don't do that. It's the person isn't going to be willing for the change. And we say around 10 for children. It really depends on how vivid their imagination is.
Okay.
And how, again, do they want the change, you know?
That's true. And children probably don't if they've got something to do. Yeah, they're probably like, yeah, I like doing that. People find it difficult to forgive themselves. Yeah, you're right, Melody. And then Maura said, good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, so when you're doing hypnotherapy, can you do it like on a phone? Can you do it on this? Do you have to be face to face?
You don't have to be face to face. Well, you have to be face to face, as in I have to have a camera.
I hope I'm still here.
You have to have a camera.
Isn't that really interesting what Andrea is talking about? I find it great. It's just me sat here now. Yeah, there's a bit of a time delay too, so I'm only catching up. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we might just leave it there, Andrea. I found everything you said absolutely amazing and really interesting. We might look at getting you back in again once I get my stuff sorted out over here.
Great. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for tuning in and listening to me.
So guys, thanks for watching this morning, and we will get this sorted out, and I will talk to you all soon. I'm only catching up. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we might just leave it there, Andrea. I found everything you said